2:14 a.m. on the edge of Razorback Ridge, moon hanging thin like a blade over the bridge. He walked out slow where the mesquite trees bend, where a man meets himself when the daylight ends. Folks in town call him sinner, some called him saint, but none saw the battles he fought when the light grew faint. There in the dust and the silver gray night, he called his shadow forward, and it came ready to fight. Boots dug in, breath burned low, one man, one darkness in the same shadow. No holler, no prayer, just a will forged tight as a moonlit silence judged the fight. It was a night he wrestled with his shadow on the ground. Didn't flee, didn't fold, didn't make a sound. Said, "You're part of me, I won't run anymore." And pinned the beast down like a locked iron door. 'Cause a man ain't whole till he claims his night, till he reigns in the monster and holds it tight. Flashback camera jumps to 10 years before, young version of him slammed in a church door. Priest said, "Boy, you're too wild to save." He said, "Hell may be, but I ain't your slave." Then cut back to Razorback, shadow snarling, claws of black, but he pressed it down with a calm attack. Hand on his throat, chest steady and slow. He whispered, "We are one, but I steer where we go." That line hit the dark like fire through frost, and the shadow fell still like it understood who was boss. In that moment the camera pulled wide, two figures, one breathing, one quiet inside. He didn't banish the demon, he just took the reins, turned chaos to a servant in his blood and veins. Yeah, that one night he wrestled with his shadow in the dust, turned a life built on instinct into war ruled by trust. No redemption choir, no lightning from above, just a quiet grip of a man reclaiming his love. And ever since then, when he walks through town, that shadow follows, but he keeps its head down. 'Cause darkness don't vanish, it just learns who's in command. When a man finally decides to take his own hand. It was early evening at Long Creek Motel, sun bleeding low over wood and rusted rail. I stood by the trunk of my beat-up Ford, hands shaking, not from fear, just cutting the cord. She stepped out slow, dressed pale in the dust, eyes wide with a hurt, voice trembling with trust. She said, do you still remember me? I said, yeah, like a damn lesson called to me. The camera held us in that orange red light, two ghosts sharing one final night. And in my chest I could hear the cage door close, not from anger, just from the freedom I chose. I didn't raise my voice, I just raised my spine. Stop pleading for mercy and said, this heart's mine. That was the day I walked away from the love that chained me, left the keys on the counter of the life that drained me. You were heaven once, then a cage made of gold, shining on the outside, choking on the whole. Some love lifts a soul, some love breaks a man. I chose to breathe free again, because I finally can. Flashback cut to last winter at your mother's porch. You held me by the collar like a hand around a torch. You said you don't need the world, you only need me. And like a fool I nodded, blind to what I couldn't see. And cut back to the motel, I reached inside my coat, pulled out that little photo you once slipped in my note. I tore it clean, let the pieces fall slow, like confession fragments, letting old guilt go. I touched the cross on my wrist, just a scar-shaped line. Raised my head and whispered, your love ain't equal to mine. I didn't hate you, I just stopped obeying, stopped kneeling in a love that kept me from praying. That was the day I walked away from the love that chained me. Didn't slam the door, didn't curse what pained me. Just took back my heartbeat from your tender fist and wrote a new life on the wind-blown list. You were a fire I warmed and a furnace I escaped in. I ain't looking back, because the soul, one sun shape won't fold itself small again for a gilded cage you paint. And if you ever ask who I became after I left your flame, I'll answer with a simple breath, I finally became myself. It was noon at Devil's Crossing, heat warping the air. You stood by the saloon rail, hat tilted, blank stare. Some boys with loud mouths sized you up slow, called you soft, brittle, easy to throw. One left sharp, you ain't built for this town. Another spit, you the kind we break down. But you didn't bark back, didn't clench your fist. You just swallowed the words like a bitter twist. That was the camera's close up, your throat working tight, shadow falling over you like judgment in daylight. And somewhere inside a furnace caught spark, not loud, not bright, just steady in the dark. You didn't spit out the poison, you kept it inside. Let it burn through your heart like whiskey turned to pride. There was a day you drank your weakness as medicine. Let every insult like a shot of discipline. Didn't run from the sting, you let it soak in deep. Turned every damn word into strength you keep. Now when they call you fragile, you just grin and say, I've been taking that remedy since back in the day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Flashback cut to your daddy in a barn light haze. Pitchfork in hand, voice rough with hard days. He said, son, the world won't spare your pride, so swallow the hurt and wear it inside. Then we cut back to Devil's Crossing. You reached in your coat, pulled out that little silver flask with a tarnished note. It read, strength ain't loud, 5 letters worn thin. You tapped it once like a vow sealed in. You looked those boys in the face, no anger, no cry, just to calm like a man who don't need to try. And you muttered, keep talking, I'm listening, friend. But your eyes said your words, that's fuel I'll bend. You didn't choke on the venom, you turned it to leaf. Forged bullets or will in the back of your head. There was a day you drank your weakness and medicine. Let every cruel word tighten your discipline. Didn't beg for kindness, didn't plead for grace. You let all truths hammer your face. Now when they call you small, you just laugh and say, I've been living on that tonic since my first bad day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And tonight, as you ride out toward the canyon bend, with a heart like iron and the spine of a friend, know this, it ain't the praise that built you up from within. It's every bit of word you swallow like medicine. It was late July, 10:45 p.m. Outside Dustwell Tavern, neon signs flickering like bad memories unraveling. I leaned on a post, dust on my boots. Same old pistol hanging heavy at my roots. She walked up slow, perfume like wildfire. Eyes sharp, same ones that once pulled me on a wire. A voice caught soft in that summer night. Hey, do you still love me? Do you still care? My throat burned like cheap bourbon held too long, but I didn't bow, didn't make myself small or wrong. I just met her eyes on blinking hard and true. Said I love my freedom more than I ever loved you. Lips trembled, moonlight on her skin, pale white, like a ghost seeing dawn for the first time at night. In that silence I felt a sin loosen its chain, and a tired heart step out of its cage of blame. There was a night I took my heart back from her hands, stopped being a soldier in her quiet command. No more begging for warmth from a wildfire soul, no more dying to fit in a love I couldn't control. Flashback camera cut to 2 years before. I was kneeling on the floor like some broken troubadour. She held my head, whispered, "Your heart's mine." And hell, back then I thought that sounded fine. But love turned feral, turned jealous in me, turned me into someone I'd never been. She took my strength, wrapped it round her fist, and I stayed like a dog, too afraid to resist. Back at dusk, well, I reached for the rosary on my vest, pressed a bead into my palm, a pilgrim's test, said softly, "Girl, you'll find love somewhere, I swear, just not sitting in the place where you kept me impaired." Her eyes glisten like rain on a dry field, but pain ain't a reason for a man to yield. I tipped my hat, felt the wind cut a wall, felt a weary spirit finally change form. There was the night I took my heart back from her hands, unhooked my pulse from her old demands, didn't trade guilt for anger or hope for spite. I just walked toward myself in a lantern light, 'cause a heart that once belonged to somebody else can learn to be steady for the man himself. And if she ever tells the story, I hope she understands. There was a day I loved her, and the night I loved myself more than her hand. It was dusk in Ghostwater County, wind howling down the well. He walked that dirt road slow like a man dragging old spells. Boots worn thin, heart heavy like wet coal. You could hear the weight of sin rattling inside his soul. He'd run from death, from love, from truth so raw. Left the cross-eyed preacher, left the ballroom brawl. But tonight the camera framed him beneath the dying sky, and he said to himself, "Hell, I ain't running tonight." Cigarette ember glowing, face lit red. He stared into the dark like it blinked instead. Some said fear's a demon, some said fear's a mirror, but he trailed a callous thumb along the trigger nearer. There was the night he looked fear in the face, didn't twitch, didn't flinch, didn't give it space. Just squared his jaw like old oak, sturdy and slow. Said, "You ain't big enough to break me no more." Yeah, when a man stands tall and refuses to bow, even fear learns how to kneel somehow. Flashback camera cuts to 11 years before. A bedroom door slammed, whiskey spilled on the floor. A wild-eyed woman with a love like fire said, "If you stay a coward, you'll never rise higher." Yeah. He left her crying in that motel glare, smelled her perfume like a ghost still in his hair. Since then, every lover, every fight, every road was a way to dodge that truth he never wrote. Now back in worst, I can carry it. A cold hush felt like God had mute. Stars leaned in close to watch the brood. He raised that silver cross hanging from his chain and kissed it softly, like a man blessed by pain. There was a night he looked fear in the face and didn't beg, didn't break or brace. Just met it eye to eye with that quiet grin of a man who's done fighting the war within. Yeah, sometimes redemption ain't a choir or a crown. Sometimes it's the courage not to turn around. And when a man stands tall and refuses to bow, even the shadows learn to kneel somehow. It was 3:16 a.m. county cell, cold steel on my skin, neon buzzing like a drum choir, praying I don't win. Boots off, back sore, rust stains on the wall. I've been sitting in that orange shame like I deserved it all. Guard walked by, he sang that metal hymn. Said, boy, this place fits you, sin, fits you slim. I just laughed low, spit blood on the floor. Tasted every bad choice I ever made before. That wild love, that bad crowd, that crooked deal. Whiskey nights, motel nights that never heal. I thought, hell, maybe I'm built for bars and blame. Till the cuffs bit deep and whispered my name. Fluorescent hum like flies round a dead prayer. I saw my face in a cracked sink mirror, staring back there. Messed up nose, busted lip, tired eyes. A man so cheap to his own damn lies. I heard mama's hymn, heard a preacher's tune. Boy, God ain't lost, he's just watching you choose. My jaw locked tight, heart ground like a train. I thought if I stay sitting, it ain't just these chains. So I chewed through my chains like a mad dog in the dark. Didn't need no key, just a wheel turned sharp. Didn't break that steel with muscle or vein. I tore every link with a mouthful of pain. Yeah, I bled on the metal, tasted rust and shame. Turned every drop of guilt into gasoline flame. You can lock my body, brand my name in the rain, but chains only hold a man who bows enough to stay chained. So I chewed through my chains like a mad dog in the dark. Didn't need no key, just a wheel turned sharp. Didn't break that steel with muscle or vein. I tore it link by link with a mouth full of pain. Yeah, I bled on the metal, tasted rust and shame. Turned every drop of guilt into gasoline flame. You can lock my body, brand my name in the rain, but chains only hold a man who bows enough to stay chained. Sun came up sickly over Red Hollow town. They marched us out the yard, heads all hanging down. My wrists were bare, skin raw, teeth stained red. God stared hard like he'd seen a ghost instead. He said, who the hell freed you, boy? Who cut that steel? I smiled slow, knowing, sir, I just learned how to kneel to nothing. Then I dropped that broken iron ring, washed it thud in the dust like a dead old king. I took one lane, strung it on my neck like a sin cross. Cold metal on my chest, reminder of the cost. Whispered, Lord, I'm guilty, but I ain't on. Then kissed the blood on it like a creed carved in bone. Wind in my face like a long lost slap. Smelled diesel, dirt, gun, oil and sap. Road hum low like it knew my name, like it been waiting for my busted up flame. I ain't some saint, I ain't washed that clean. Got a wild love waiting, still stuck in her own machine. I thought if I go back, I'll rot in that cage. So I let her go in a silent private rage. I raised that chain link cross up into the light. Said, devil, if you want me, you'll see me standing upright. No halo, no choir, just my breath in the cold. But for the first damn time, my soul felt old and bold. Yeah, I chewed through my chains like a beast of the sky. Didn't beg no warden, didn't wait to die. Didn't snap that steel with muscle or bone. I broke it when I finally said my life's my own. Yeah, I bled on the metal, turned it into prayer. Every drop of promise I'd never crawl back there. You can build your walls, write my sins in your book, but you can't cage a man who don't see himself as crook. So if you see a scarred $1 walking past the trains, with a rust link hanging low like a cross full of stains, know this that night I stopped being their inmate name. I walked out, not clean, not pure, just a man who'll never again believe in his chains. Believe in his chains. Believe in his chains. Believe in his chains. It was midnight on Lost Creek Trail. Old moon hanging low like a rusted nail. I was standing where 3 roads split, one paved with fear, one paved with regret, and one that didn't exist yet. The past had held my heart like a clenched iron fist. The prison weighed heavy like a fog. I couldn't resist, but that night I looked up at the emptiest road and thought, to hell with the map, I'll make my own. I tightened my hand till the knuckles turned white. Felt the odor break like twigs in the night. I didn't wait for permission, didn't ask for a sign. I just took the reins and said, this life's mine. That was the night I reclaimed my future. Tore it free from time like a worn-out suture. Didn't beg the world to hand me a fate. I wrestled it down and walked through the gate. 'Cause tomorrow ain't a gift that falls from the sky. It's the thing a man steals when he refuses to die. Flashback, camera snaps to a dusty small town porch. Me sitting with my head down, feeling lost in remorse. Mama said, boy, you gotta choose your direction, 'cause time don't wait for self-rejection. Then cut back to Lost Creek Trail, wind hissing low like a serpent in hell. I looked at the stars, asked not for their grace, but if they had the guts to watch me stake my place. I pulled my rosary from my pocket, not to pray, but to mark that moment as a turning of the day. Held it high and whispered, I ain't owned by yesterday. yesterday. I didn't curse my past, I just walked past it like a ghost that finally learned who's the captain. Yeah, that was the night I reclaimed my future. Cut loose from doubt like a reaper's suture. Didn't follow destiny, didn't serve his plan. I carved a new road with my own damn hand. And when dawn broke crimson over Lost Creek stone, I wasn't the old me, I was full grown. If you ask how a man takes back the years he lost, I'll answer with a grin like frost on glass. The future don't arrive, you take it by force, and you never give it back. You never give it It was late afternoon on a rusted mill road, sun leaning sideways, dust in a gold red glow. You walked with your hands in your coat, boot steps calm like a man carrying his own antidote. They leaned on the railing outside the bar, spitting cheap laughter like buckshot from afar. One hollered, "Look at you, big old failure." Another chime, "Boy, life sure nailed you." But you didn't answer, didn't twitch or flinch. Just let silence tighten like a noose inch by inch. Eyes fixed forward, jaw set like stone. You walk like a king through a kingdom you own. Your silence hit harder than any bark or shout. Sometimes the loudest answer is cutting the whole damn world out. There was a day you walked past those who mocked you, didn't trade insults, didn't let the poison clog you. Just kept moving like a man with fire in his stride. Let the fools choke on the pride you denied. 'Cause the strongest souls don't need to strike back. They win by moving forward while the weak stay black. Yeah, flashback camera cuts to a night in '09. You answering every insult, every jab, every line. Fist bloody, voice raw, lost in the brawl, letting other people's words become your law. But now on Rusted Mill Road, you've outgrown that fight. You carry the burn, but you master the light. You thumb the rosary in your pocket, quiet sign. Not begging for faith, just claiming what's mine. One of them sneered you deaf or just scared, and you said soft without even turning your head. Neither, I just don't talk to ghosts that shut them up cold, like frost through the coast. You didn't prove you're strong, you proved you're done, trying to wrestle shadows when you've already won. turn around. 'Cause a real outlaw don't argue with barking dogs. He walks on calm while they choke in their fall. It was near midnight at Widow's Hill, dark clouds, boiling wind, sharp enough to kill. I stood alone by the split rail fence, hat brim low, eyes cold and intense. Rain spat down like gravel and dust, thunder rolled like judgment of trust, and the sky grabbed near before me, boy. But I shook my head, hell, I ain't your toy. Lightning lit my face like a cross cut from flame. I wasn't praying for mercy, I was claiming my name. That was a night I became the damn storm. Didn't bow to the sky, didn't wait to come form. I roared louder than thunder, burned harder than rain. Every drop that hit me just fed my flame. 'Cause the strong don't dodge the storm's iron song. They swallow the lightning and walk on strong. Flashback camera cuts to a barn years ago. I was younger, weaker, head hanging low. My old man said, son, life ain't a gentle ride. You either face the sky or spend your years inside. Cut back to Widow's Hill, I spread my arms wide like a preacher with a sermon, like a king undenied. I shouted to the heavens with a voice of grit and steel. You ain't above me, you're the quiet of what I feel. Lightning froze in midair like it heard my command, and thunder stepped back like a dog from my hand. I didn't ask the storm to spare my skin, I did it to test the fire within. Became the storm itself, took every fear from the shell. Didn't shield my face, didn't brace for the blow. I let the wind carve my spirit and grow. And when dawn came calm over Widow's Hill stone, I stood untouched and I stood alone. 'Cause in the end the sky ain't your master of fate, it becomes your voice when you learn to dominate. And if you ask me how I broke free from the storm's decree, I'll tell you plain, the storm didn't beat me. It became part of me. Na 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 na. It was noon, dusky road, sun heavy as guilt, sky hot as a forge. He walked with his shoulders bent from a weight, carry mistakes like iron in a crate. Folks lean from porches, calling down the line. Put it down, boy, you'll break your spine. But he just adjusted that load on his back, like a man sitting in a saddle where the leather feels exact. You could see in his eyes heat, grit, and grace, like a prayer with teeth carved into his face. He didn't beg for mercy, didn't plead for ease, just tightened his grip and walked upwind against the breeze. That was the day he picked up the burden and kept walking, turned every ounce of pain into strength worth stocking. Didn't shed the weight, he let it sharpen his soul. Didn't dodge the burn, he embraced the toll. Cause the burden of the strong ain't punishment nor cage, it's the whetstone grinding every fear off the blade. Flashback, camera drops to a memory in winter. Him as a younger man, eyes cold as splendor. Dropped his load once in a fit of despair, and watched his purpose vanish right into the air. Cut back to dustkeeper, now sweat on his brow. He looked at the sky and whispered somehow, this ain't cursed weight, it's the muscle I need. And he marched on steady like a horse with a creed. He took one hand off the load and touched the crucifix on his chest. Said if God made me carry it, he must know I'm up to the test. He didn't drop the burden, he bent it into shape, turned a lifetime of regret into something he could take. Yeah, that was the day he picked up the burden and kept walking. Didn't wait for praise, didn't hear doubt talking. Every hard mile became a lesson in might. Every weighted step forged a deeper inner light. And when the sun finally dipped behind the ridge's curve, he was still moving forward with the strength they didn't deserve. No crowd behind him, no witness at all, just a man with his burden just held him 10 feet tall. But to ask him why he never laid that weight down, he'll answer with a grin that don't need a crown. The burden made me, and I walk 'cause it's mine. I walk 'cause it's mine. It was 11:22 p.m. at the edge of Red Mesa Bridge. Moon draped over the canyon like a ghost on a ridge. I leaned on the railing, wind cold don't steer me now, and she faded like smoke off a worn-out plow. I didn't beg the night to scrub her away. I just stood taller than I did yesterday. That was the night her memory lost its power over me. No more shaking hands, no good, not misery. I didn't erase her, I just learned to see that the past don't rule a soul that's free. And the ghost of her love drifted off like dust in the breeze. 'Cause I ain't chained no more to what used to be. Flashback, camera slides to a motel, neon burn, her face in that pink light, begging me to return. I kept every letter, every photograph fold, clung to them like scripture, written in gold. Then back to Red Mesa, I took those pictures from my coat, held them up to the moon like a quiet oath. But I didn't tear them, didn't toss them to the river. I placed them in the canyon when, with a steady-lipped shiver, said, "You were once my heaven, but you ain't my horizon." And her memory sank like a setting iron sun. I didn't curse her name, I just reclaimed mine, left her silhouette in yesterday's shine. Yeah, that was a night her memory lost its power over me. No more ghost in my bed, no more lock on my key. Didn't burn her image, didn't spit on her grace. I walked past it all with the calm on my face. And when dawn cracked open over Red Mesa stone, I rode off lighter, a man fully grown. Some loves end loud, this one ended clean. Just a heart choosing freedom over what might have been. And if a shadow ever drifts near me again, I'll nod and say you once mattered, but you don't command me, friend. It was midnight in my old shotgun shack, single bulb swinging, throwing shadows in black. I sat at the table, pen trembling in my grip, writing every doubt that ever cut me like a whip. Too weak, too slow, not enough, never will be. All the poison whispers that used to bury me. Camera zooms on my eyes, steady me. I wasn't breaking down, I was getting clean. A toe reached out from the notebook page, each one a scar from a younger age. I didn't cry, didn't curse my past, I just faced it hard and faced it fast. That was the day I nailed my doubts to the wall. One rusty spike for every poison call. Didn't burn them up, I pinned them in place, so they'd stare back at me and know I won this race. Yeah, doubt don't vanish, it just hangs like a trophy of war. And I ain't scared of it anymore. can. I didn't erase the demons, I just put them on display, so every damn one knows who owns them today. Yeah, that was the day I nailed my doubt to the wall. Stopped bowing to the voices that made me small. Didn't bury them, let them hang with shame, so they'd witness the rise of the man I became. And when morning sun slipped through that crooked window frame, it hit those doubts like old ghosts with no one left to blame. I walked out that door, left them hanging still, a shrine to every weakness I refuse to kill. 'Cause a real outlaw don't hide his scars, he pins them up like battle bars. It was sunrise over dead man's blood, cold wind scraping the cliffs like a steel bristle brush. I stood there alone, hands stiff from the night, carrying sins heavy as saddlebags on a long losing ride. Folks in town still whisper my own disgrace, said I never outrun the ghost of my name on my face. But that morning, the camera caught me still as stone, a man done running, ready to claim his throne. I laid my palm flat on my chest, slow and bare, felt every scar I'd carved in myself through the years out there. And I muttered, voice low like gravel in a tin. Alright, I'm strong enough to forgive my own skin. Sun lit my breath like smoke off a gun, on the edge of a soul that had never felt done. And in that hush, when no preacher spoke, I felt my old chains give way. One link broke. Yeah, that was the day I became my own forgiveness. Didn't need no saint, no choir, no witness. Took every wound I carried like a brand, held it to the light and said it's time I stand. Pain didn't fade, it turned into the ground I rise from. 'Cause a man's reborn when he forgives what he's done. Flashback, camera jumps to a cabin winter deep. I watched myself younger, drowning in guilt I couldn't keep. Bottle on the table, Bible on the floor, begging for a God I didn't trust anymore. Then cut back to dead man's bluff, when tugging at my cold, rough and tough. I unsheathed my old knife, the one stained with past fights, dragged this but to remember the cost. How every wrong turn made a man who ain't fully lost. I lifted that blade like a bow in the air, whispered, you ain't my jailer, you're just how I got here. And the canyon echoed that truth back slow, like the world finally understood what I'd chosen to know. I didn't silence my demons, I just met their eyes. Said if anyone redeems me, it ain't the sky. Yeah, yeah, that was the day I became my own forgiveness. Stood tall in the wreck of my old unfinished business. Didn't wash my hands clean, I claimed every stain. Turned guilt into grit, turned regret into grain. And when the wind carried my name through the dawn, it sounded less like a warning and more like a merry bond. I left Dead Man's Bluff with no halo above, just a heart steady beating, a soul tough enough to say with a cold hard breath, I forgive myself, and that's stronger than death. It was sunrise over Dead Man's Bluff, cold wind scraping the cliffs like a steel bristle brush. I stood there alone and stiff from the night, carrying sins heavy as saddlebags on a long losing ride. Folks in town still whispered my old disgrace, said I'd never outrun the ghost of my name on my face. But that morning the camera caught me still as stone, a man done running, ready to claim his throne. Palm flat on my chest, slow and bare. Felt every scar I'd carved in myself through the years out there. And I muttered, voice low, like gravel in a tin, alright, I'm strong enough to forgive my own skin. Sun lit my breath like smoke off a gun, warmed the edge of a soul that had never felt done. And in that hush where no preacher spoke, I felt my old chains give away. One link broke, yeah. That was the day I became my own forgiveness. Didn't need no saint, no choir, no witness. Took every wound I carried like a brand, held it to the light and said it's time I stand. Pain didn't fade, it turned into the ground I rise from. 'Cause a man's reborn when he forgives what he's done. Yeah. Flashback, camera jumps to a cabin winter deep. I watched myself younger, drowning in guilt I couldn't keep. Bottle on the table, my coat, rough and tough, I unsheathed my old knife. The one stained with past fights dragged his blood back edge across my palm in the morning light. A ritual not to bleed, but to remember the cost. How every wrong turn made a man who ain't fully lost. I lifted that blade like a vow in the air, whispered, you ain't my jailer, you're just how I got here. And the canyon echoed that truth back slow, like the world finally understood what I'd chosen to know. I didn't silence my demons, I just met their eyes. Said if anyone redeems me, it ain't the sky. Yeah, that was the day I became my own forgiveness. Stood tall in the wreck of my old unfinished business. Didn't wash my hands clean, I claimed every stain. Turned guilt into grit, turned regret into grain. And when the wind carried my name through the dawn, it sounded less like a warning and more like a man reborn. Yeah. Just a heart steady beating, a soul tough enough to say, with a cold hard breath, I forgive myself, and that's stronger than death. It was near midnight behind the old freight yard. Moonlight thin as wire, hair smelling like rust and tar. I stood in front of that graffiti-scarred wall, still wearing the name they used to make me crawl. They called me coward, called me failure, called me son of nothing, like I was born right here. I took a can of black paint, shook it slow, felt a rattle in my palm like a drumbeat of rebirth below. And I whispered, this ain't for them to see, this is for me to finally lay be. Heavy like a boot on wood, I tasted old memories I never understood. I raised that pain like a priest raises a cross, ready to bury that old name and count the cost. There was a night I renamed myself in the dark, wrote a new name, bold like a firebrand mark. Not for the crowd, not for their mouths or cheers, but for the man that rose after too many years. 'Cause a name ain't given, it's carved in your own skin, with pain, with blood, with the courage to begin. Flashback camera Grammar snaps to a dusty schoolyard. Kids spitting insults, laughter cutting hard. Teacher turned away, didn't break that tide. So I learned early how pain goes inside. Cut to my mama praying in a dim lit room, hands clutching a rosary like a buried bloom. She said, son, don't let the world decide your name. That's the one thing they ain't under right to claim. Yeah, back in the present, I spray that final stroke. Black letters thick like night itself spoke. I wiped sweat and pain on the hem of my sleeve, then said to the wall, this is who I choose to believe. I didn't write it small, I wrote it like thunder. A name risen from grief, not built from blunder. Yeah, that was a night I renamed myself in the dark. Lit a fuse in my soul like a powder spark. I'm not who they say, not who they chain. I'm the man who walked out once the world got reframed. And if you ever wanna know who I truly am, don't ask the town, the records, or the mouth of man. Just read that name I wrote on the old freight yard wall, 'cause that's the one I'll answer to from now till the end.